the last Sunday of 2025. And as always, you got your co-host Deshaun Edwards and Cornell Rowan, and we are Investors Playbook Live, coming at you with the last episode of the year. You know we gotta talk about everything that happened this year, but then also what is it that you need to do to be prepared for 2026? That's what the main chunk of this episode is going to be about. So we're going to dive into some new news that we found out about one of our favorite companies, Nvidia. Of course, we're going to tap into that. But a big part of it, as you listen through, is just going to be some first tips for 2026. What are the first plays that you need to go ahead and nail down as soon as January 1st hits, or at least that first weekend, if not the first week, then the first month, right? We want you all to be prepared for 2026. And if you set some time aside, it's easy to do, right? We talk a lot about automation. We're going to talk about some of the accounts you need to hit. So, yeah, just stay tuned. We got some good stuff for y'all. But first and foremost, Cornell, you got some info on good old Nvidia. They be doing partnerships with everybody, but this new one, it's a bit interesting. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you lead with that one.
Yeah, so basically Nvidia uh struck a deal with Grok. I know it's under AI from Elon, XAI, Xi, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
And it's supposed to be one of its largest technology licensing deals ever. So we'll see what's to come of Nvidia after this, and also Grok. But with Nvidia already on a tear, making, as Ashan said, making partnerships everywhere. Like, how high can Nvidia go?
Right.
Because right now it's the most valuable company, and it's
Mhm.
still making strides.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of wild, man. And I'm not gonna say that Nvidia came out of nowhere, but it's not even close to being one of the oldest companies that are around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember hearing first about Nvidia after graduating college, for one, and having a conversation with my oldest friend and his dad about Nvidia and AMD. And this is when Nvidia was like maybe less than 20 bucks or something like that. It was very cheap. Um, and it was just maybe like 15 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. So the fact that Nvidia has exploded, right? And it's not as old as like Microsoft or Apple, but it has become such a valuable company is pretty wild. But yeah,
So actually, Nvidia was founded in 1993,
oh, I stand corrected.
and Nvidia went public in 1999.
Okay, so it's been around a while.
It's been a while, yeah. But my thing is, I think a lot of these companies don't start off like as great companies.
Yeah,
They kind of like are in the background, just doing their thing, and
yeah,
then yeah, somehow they just are on a tear, and now they
hmm,
own the AI infrastructure. So everybody's going through Nvidia. All the big companies, you got Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, they all need Nvidia.
yeah. They saw the foresight, I guess, because you got companies that are older who did not stand the test of time, but it just the business that Nvidia went in became extremely valuable, right? Who knew that? Like when you think back about AI and think about every movie or every conversation about it, it was considered sci-fi, bro. Like it was not real, it was considered science fiction. It was in the realm of flying cars and space travel. And now we live in a world where artificial intelligence is literally here. Um, and it's not fiction anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's reality. So yeah, I think that Nvidia did choose a very profitable business market, and yeah, it's just been doing wonderful, and it's starting to change the game. I mean, we talked about Nvidia partnering with Nokia and talking about 6G. I mean, we got 5G what 3 4 years ago, and now we're already talking about the next generation of telecommunication and Nokia, nonetheless, right? Nokia hasn't been talked about in a while, so partnering with Nokia, partnering with Intel. And Intel is very big on the plants that actually make the chips. So it looks to me like Nvidia is making a lot of strategic partnerships, and now with XAI or Elon Musk's AI Grok, this is what sounds to be like another strategic artificial intelligence chip making powerhouse move. So we're gonna see what comes of it. Um, but yeah, that's the stock news for today. Um, so yeah, we just kind of want to go back through what 2025 brought us as well, right? As investors playbook, we had a quite a few milestones this year. One of the biggest was the release of our volume 2, which was a 6-step process to financial freedom, volume 2, investors playbook, and we refined our 6-step process. We put
Mhm.
it in a way that is even more digestible and even more executable. Um, and I just think the design of the book also just looks super fly too. So yeah, that was huge. But yeah, man, that was one of the big things. What about you, Cornell? What you want to tap into? One of the
I
things we get
just
this year.
my favorite thing is, it's always gonna be building connections, especially on things like InvestFest, and just when we travel to other places. I think just meeting people on their walks of life, whether it be a business owner, whether it be a customer, or if it's just a cool person that we met. I think that building relationships, in this point of my life, is the most important thing that can come of anything.
Bro.
So yeah, for me, it was the connections that we built. And you never know, like, it doesn't when you're building connections, of course you're not trying to see, like, okay, how can they help me out in life, but they just kind of sometimes they just kind of fall in that place. I
Mhm.
met Quan at a network event, and then he came
Mm,
and he helped us out with content from InvestFest. So I just think
true.
that things like that are so dope, and it's important not to isolate yourself, because when you isolate yourself, I feel like you limit your success. So it's just important for me to build
Yeah,
community. And for
absolutely.
everyone that joined, we appreciate you. Um, yeah, follow us and send us to somebody that you think can benefit from just financial education, financial literacy, or just motivation to get your life right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, man. With the network that we're building, I also think this what we're doing every Sunday, coming on here, creating content for free, essentially, right? The people that are listening, if they might be paying for YouTube, but they can come and get game. Um, just because this is what we want to do. We want to help people learn about whether it's investing or learn about what the stocks, certain specific stocks might be doing, but just being consistent and being here pretty much every Sunday. I think we might have missed maybe like 3 episodes, if I'm being real, maybe. And I'm being transparent, which I didn't have to, but we may have missed like 3 episodes. And we're talking about 50 plus weeks in a year, 3 episodes. So that already is just it shows that this is something that we're truly passionate about. And this in itself has also helped grow the community. We've met people just from dropping episodes. People hit me up and saying, we listened to this episode, we learned about the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA. I learned about my job matching me on my 401k. And what you mentioned about um Soundhound that one time. I listened to it and I invested and then I made like those are the kind of stories that I like to hear. You know what I mean? So showing up every day is has been a big one. But yeah, the network piece is huge. Without that, without y'all, right? We would be talking to ourselves. So we always appreciate everyone we meet, everyone we interact with, and everyone that just shares the message of Investors Playbook. So definitely appreciate y'all on that one. Yeah,
So what are some things that you think will help people become successful in 2026?
man. I think the first thing would definitely be understand your finances currently. Take a second during this Christmas break, holiday break, if you have the time off before New Year's next year, just take some time and go through where you are currently financially. How much money do you have in your bank account? How much credit card debt do you currently have? If you own a home, how much is your mortgage payment? Like writing out all your expenses and understanding what it is, where you are currently, right? Look at the statements on your credit cards, some of the expenses that are going out, some subscriptions that you might not need anymore. These are the type of things. Just a big flush. It's almost like spring cleaning, but it's for your finances. Just sit down and look at everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. You might see some kudos, give yourself some pat on the back, and you might be like, "Man, I didn't even realize I was spending that much money on Uber Eats." Either way, you got to look at it. So stop avoiding looking at your finances and looking at your spending. I think that could be something that they can do to prepare for 2026 because without knowing where you currently are, you can't even really decide on where you're going. Everyone wants to make more money, everyone wants to be more financially stable, but you got to know how financially stable or unstable you are in order to start making a real plan. So that would be my thing, man. Just take a just take a day and look through your statements and be like, okay, cool. For the month of November and December, this is where my spending went. This is what I plan to do in 2026. What about you, Cornell?
I actually like that a lot because you
Mhm.
really can't do anything else if you don't know where you stand. So I like that one. I think I think mine is be intentional about retirement. I think
Mm.
that's
Mhm.
important. I know that our money for today is important, but you don't want to be that person that, and I see this too much. I know everyone has these people in their career that are over the age of 60 or over the age of 65 and they are unable to retire, or they retire and they come right back because they
Yeah.
can't afford retirement. So my thing is there are too many people in their 30s that have no retirement account. What are you
Mhm.
expecting to do?
Yeah.
Because what we have to remember is retirement is not an age, it's a financial number. And if you don't
Mhm.
have that number, you're going to continue to work. It's just
Yeah.
how it is. You could be 100 years old, and if you don't have that number, you have to continue to work.
Exactly. So with that, I'm gonna remind people you have until April 15th of 2026 to put money in a 2025 IRA. You can still put money in your 2025 IRA up to April of this upcoming year. All right. Remember that you do not have to just start putting money in 2026 retirement when January 1st hits, because you only have a certain amount of money that you can put into an IRA each year. So you might as well put as much as you can in 2025. And then once that is cut off, you can start putting money into 2026. No reason for you to only put money in 2026 unless your 2025 is maxed out already. That's the only reason why. So the max, I think it's increasing for 2026, but right now the max is $7,000 that you can
And
put into an IRA.
right, and for next year is going to be 7,500.
7,500. So you can still put up to $7,000 into your 2025 individual retirement account, whether you choose Roth or traditional. We talk a lot about the difference between Roth and traditional, the tax benefits, um, post tax, pre tax. So I don't even know what number episode that is, but if you search in our page and just look for retirement, you'll find some good information on IRA, Roth, traditional. But until you pay and max out your 2025 Roth, I would say after you do that, then you can start putting into 2026, which you have up to 7,500, and that's not including, if the what is it called, the catch up pay if you're over a certain age,
Hmm.
which I think they add $1,000 where you could put 8,500. I think that's what it is, something
Yeah,
like that.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, but yeah, to Cornell's point, I think is extremely important. We don't prepare enough, right? And we have plenty of time. The goal is to live until we get to the point of retirement. And like you said, Cornell, it's not an age. It's whenever we are financially able to continue living, paying for things that we desire and paying for things that we want without needing to work a 9 to 5 job, right?
Which could
Everyone's
be earlier. Which could be earlier.
yes, that's what I'm saying. It could be earlier. So everyone's retirement is going to look different. They have the 59 and a half for 401ks and IRAs. That's probably Historically, that's the age people started retiring, but you can retire as early as you want to, right? As long as you have the means to do it. Because some people, like you said, Cornell, are 70 and they still aren't retired. 65 years old, still not retired. So clearly, retirement is not an age. You can work well past retirement. You can also stop working way earlier than retirement.
Yeah.
So,
And and
mhm,
I think the biggest thing is options. So like it doesn't matter if you have the money and you decide to work. Okay, that's cool. Like
right.
that's a decision. But what
Hmm.
you don't want to happen is you get there and you don't have a choice and you have to work because you
Yeah.
don't have the money. So I know some people may like, working
Yeah.
a job, which is cool. There's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with it. Just don't be forced to work that job. Because if
Yeah.
something happens, say that anything could happen, and now you're unable to work that job, especially when you're older, right? Anything can happen to take you out of the game.
Right.
You want to be prepared to be able to take care of yourself and your family if they're
Mm.
still financially dependent on you.
Facts. Yeah. And I will add my second, or I'll add an additional one to what you said and kind of what I was mentioning before. We're talking about retirement. We're talking about retirement. We're talking about, doing a financial preview or a financial review of everything that you got going on. I think something that people should start doing as well come 2026 is set up automation. I think automation is going to change the game for you, whether it's you automating and investing or you automating by putting money into your retirement account, which is the same thing, and still investing in the stock market. Um, but just having some amount that you can consistently put into some brokerage account, some retirement account, some account that you can put into and your money will grow because there is a lot of things happening every day. We're checking Instagram, we're checking TikTok, we're checking Snapchat, we're checking Facebook, we're going to work. We got friends that we hang out with. We might not always remember to move that money from our bank account into our brokerage account and then use that money in our brokerage account to buy a stock, buy a specific stock. Not to mention, you got emotions. You might think, oh, this stock is too high right now. I'm not going to buy it. Oh, this stock is low, but you got distracted and you missed it. So now you want to wait until the stock goes back down. So I'll just say automation, dollar cost averaging. You could do something as simple as putting money in the S&P 500, or you can do something um, if you have time and you are a bit more risky, then you can dollar cost average into a specific stock, right? We talk about the Magnificent Seven a lot, and I feel like that those would be great stocks. They're pretty strong that you could dollar cost average into. But again, you look at the S&P 500 over the last 20, 30 years, and you see the trend. So don't miss the boat in 2026. Don't watch from the sidelines. Actually do some action. One thing that you can do to automatically act is to set up automation. That's something else that we can help with too. So, yeah, that'll be my thing, man. Automate, automate, automate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think above everything, I think people should focus on health.
Mm.
So I know it's not directly tied to finances, but my thing is if you're not healthy, you can't even enjoy your finances. You could be have all the money in the world. If if you're not healthy, it's not gonna matter. So I know this isn't health playbook, but uh just just make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah. I will say the first play I think is going to be the closest to health. We're talking about mindset because I know you're talking maybe physical health, going out, running, exercising, eating right, but a big part of all of that, including your finances, has a lot to do with how you feel mentally. If you're sad, if you're upset because you aren't where you are financially, that's gonna it's gonna transfer over into how you treat yourself physically, right? If you feel like, man, I just can't get ahead, then you're gonna choose to do
You're
things
gonna not
that
get
put
ahead.
you not ahead. Like you're gonna sit on the couch, you're gonna watch TV, you're not gonna learn more. So I feel like though not directly correlating, your financial situation, personally, I feel like your financial situation has a lot to do with your mental and physical, um, how you act and how you perform mentally and physically in that growth realm, to be honest with you. Because I feel like, not saying that money is the only thing that makes people happy. But if you are in a position where you are financially stable, that does take care of one of those things that a lot of people stress about: bills, taking care of their family, being able to just enjoy life. And once you have those things set, then you can do things like feel good about going to the gym. But if you're stressing about money, you're not thinking about working out. You like, I got to make more money.
And let's
So,
be real, money's important. Like
it,
I feel me
okay.
personally, I feel like people that say money is not important or they don't care about it, I feel like that plays into self-efficacy. Because when someone feels like they can't achieve something, it's like, oh, I don't feel like that's important. You get what I'm saying?
Or I
So
ain't want it anyway. That's not even. It's
yeah,
like that, and it's like,
with
yeah, man.
with something like money where you need it for everyday thing. Like I understand it for some things. Okay, some things you might find out is not important later on in life. But for something that controls your quality of life directly,
Mhm.
I don't understand how you can say it doesn't matter. And my thing is if each week you're doing things in order to make this money, right? Which I'm sure most people do,
Right.
because you need money. I don't know how you would survive without it. Even if you're even if someone is homeless, they have to get money somehow to eat.
Yeah.
I just I just don't see how someone can say money's not important. I don't
It
get it.
plays. It plays in everyone's life, literally
Ever.
everyone's life. There's no. Even if you decide to be like a nomad and just like live off the grid, well, I mean, I guess if you do that, maybe money doesn't matter, but that's abnormal. It's very rare. You don't have people who just don't use money to purchase the vehicle to go off the grid, to purchase the soil or money is in pretty much in part a part of everyone's life, every single person's life. You can be very young, still need money. Very old, definitely money, because now you're talking about, even if you aren't working, you have to keep up with your health, which can get pretty expensive. So yeah, money is it's a necessity. It's a necessity. And it doesn't have to rule you, but you, I mean, you have to care about it because you need it to continue to progress, to continue to move forward, to continue to barter and have conversations and network. I mean, money is part of everyone's life. So
I agree. So
yeah.
so what we're doing here is we're showing people how to make money. We're telling people the game plan. Really, you just gotta,
Mhm.
pick up the gems. And I know it can be scary because I talk to a lot of people, um, just in basic conversation, and I'll ask them, "Hey, why haven't you started?" Or they'll just volunteer the information. They say they want to start, but they just don't know how, or they feel like it's too difficult, or something like that. I think that finance. I feel like the world of finance has made it seem difficult on purpose. Because when you look into it, I feel like people know what to do, but they don't realize that that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
It's like literally all you have to do is put your money into mutual funds or ETFs, where you
Mhm.
really don't even have to do too much. People talk about they don't have time. You don't have time to transfer your money over to a mutual like you
Right.
have the time.
Everybody got time, bro. I'm sorry, but that's one thing with me too. It's like, if someone says that they don't have time to do something as simple as that, I'm like, all right, show me how many hours you were on Instagram, or show me how many hours you were on Facebook or on social media, or you played a game or something, because it doesn't take a long time. It's not like learning a new language. it's it's yeah. You don't even have to do. You have to understand where your money is going, and barely. The idea behind investing is that it is a very passive way to invest. You don't have to do much besides plant the seed. You don't even really have to water it. It'll just grow, right? If I'm being real, unless you want to increase your gains, then sure. But once you put that initial money into a mutual fund and just like put your hands up and like, okay, that money can continue to grow. And doesn't really need supervision all that much. Of course, we recommend like looking at it at least once a year to make sure that it's still on track. But it is as simple as that. And like you said, Cornell, people make it more complicated than what it needs to be.
I
So
agree.
they psych
People make it
themselves
more
out.
complicated. Yeah,
Hmm.
people make it more complicated. Of course, you can make it more complicated if you get into like day trading or stuff like that, or if you're buying
Hmm.
single stocks where you actually have to pay attention to
Yeah.
companies. But there are um, ways to invest where that's takes very minimal attention. As Ashawn said, just check on it probably like annually, and like mutual funds because they have fund managers,
Hmm.
like buying the S&P 500 or buying QQQ. Uh, when you're buying these, you're buying the top stocks in the stock market. And if a company starts to not do so well, they get rotated out of that mutual fund or ETF. So it makes it very hands off, very passive for you. And even if you check annually, you can't go wrong with the S&P 500. It moves with the stock market. It is the
Yeah.
stock market, top 500 companies of the
Yeah.
stock market. So, yeah, just be intentional, be more intentional. Stop saying you can't do something because you can do it. You just have to really just find you could buy our book. Our book tells you exactly what to do with your money in all areas. And
Hmm.
or you could do all the research yourself. So our book, of course, we simplify the research. This is something that we've been doing for over a decade now.
Hmm.
So we put it in the most simplistic way for someone to pick up and just say, okay, I can apply all these steps to my life, these 6 steps to my life. Or, start from ground zero as we did, and over the years you'll get better and better.
Exactly. Very. Yeah, man. Let's not make it too complicated, folks. Um, we chose 6 steps for that reason. We didn't want it to sound like 15-step process because people would read that and think, "Whoa, that's too many steps." It's more than just like it's a lot of aspects of investing and getting your money right, and that's where the other 6 steps come from. Two of the steps aren't even really about like putting money into a market. The first step is about mindset. So yeah, it is it's a good introduction if you want to go ahead and get started. So I would say that that would be something else to get started in 2026. If you are looking to get your investing journey started or get your financial journey started, definitely a good pickup for sure. And yeah, I mean, just continue to rock with us. We are not gonna stop in 2026. We're gonna continue to have an episode once a week. More information, more facts, and yeah, more financial knowledge for everybody that's gonna be joining, man, and tuning in. So we appreciate you all.
Definitely, as always.
Yes, sir. All right. We're gonna wrap up this episode, this last episode of 2025. And we're gonna catch you all in the next year, come 2026.
Yeah,
Appreciate
good
y'all
luck,
again.
y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
All right. Peace.
Peace.